Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. The impact marriage has on a woman's career, you cannot underestimate. Okay, you cannot underestimate. We have issues, okay? We have issues. We have a problem at hand. And because we have this problem at hand, it's like having a snake. If the snake has entered your house, you cannot start discussing the color of a snake. You cannot start discussing how long it is. Is it a cobra? What type of a snake is it? Can we get a tape measure so we can measure? You cannot start discussing that. The first important you need to do is kill the snake. By the overwhelming messages that I received in my inbox, I realized there's a snake and the snake needs to be killed. Then we can talk. Then we can relax. This is the reason why with my crazy busy schedule, crazy busy schedule. I have Zoom calls, I have meetings, I've got summits, I'm speaking here and there. I have still told myself it will be important for me to deal with this. And so I've declared a 14 days campaign. It's a Real Woman Summit. And this is crazy. 14 days. We are going to be meeting every 20 hours for an hour for me to just pour out. And then I'm going to invite, I think, about 2-3 other people to come on live for us to deal with this situation. Okay, so now, yesterday I highlighted a number of things, and that is what actually opened the Pandora box concerning this particular woman. And so today I want to lay a bit of a foundation and then see how from that foundation I can now grow it up. So whatever it is that I won't deal with, please see me again tomorrow, 20 hours, same platform. So I want to build a foundation. I don't want to rush and touch different things. Okay, so this is how I want to submit this. There's a girl child growing up in a home. Okay, there's a girl child growing up in the home. I want to take myself as the first example. I came number 6 in the family. 6 boys. Of course, I was the last born boy in the family. So the way the culture or where I grew up from, the way things were to be done was that I needed to wake up early with mom, clean up the house. I was still expected to go to school. I was expected to do well at school. But even when I knocked off, my brother would throw his books, throw his shoes, and I was supposed to be cleaning, helping. Our home was crazy because being a pastor's child, there were a lot of visitors that used to come in our home. But some of you, probably it was never like that. Maybe there weren't too many visitors at your home. But whatever the case, as a girl child, you grew up in a home where you needed to do some house chores, which is very good. Nothing wrong with that. If anything, today I've appreciated growing up in such a setup because that has helped me to be the woman who I am today and to multitask and for me to do a number of things because I used to wake up early and ensure that I do this, I do that because everything was actually getting on to me. So when I grew a little older, everybody wanted me to make tea, to know what type of relish to put on the stove, to know this. So this girl child, as I'm growing up, of course, I'm seeing some injustices, okay? There is somewhere I'm going and I want you to follow me because some of the things that we are going through today, they are as a result of some idiosyncrasies, okay? Where the way we grew up or the environment we grew up from. So I'm going somewhere. So I'm painting a picture concerning my own life, but you paint your own picture concerning your own life and where you grew up from. And so as I'm growing up, I'm looking at all these women that are coming to mom's home. These women were okay. They were in the choir, they were ushers, and they were doing very well. The moment they walked the aisle, and they were pronounced husband and wife. Few months later, somehow I saw a woman coming before mom or dad. And the whole coming home was to come and complain on how bad the husband was treating her. So it was always about this bad marriage. Okay? It was always about this bad marriage. And of course, my parents sometimes wouldn't even know that I'm there listening to their stories. And I used to be very inquisitive. Now, you may not have grown up in such an environment where you could, listen to some of these things because your own parents were not clergy in the clergy. But whatever the curse, you may have grown up in a home with your mom and your dad. And I think on average, the marriage of your mom and your dad was not really the best marriage. But also the neighborhood, your cousins, your elder brother, your elder sister. When you looked around as a girl, as you were growing up, what is it that you observed as you were growing up? It is very, very important for you to go back into history and begin to interrogate your mind. Because some of the things that you're going through, some of the things that you are facing today, or your reaction in marriage, which has got great impact on your career, has been as a result of your idiosyncrasies, okay? Has been as a result of your way of life or your growth pattern, the environment, the things that were embedded inside of you. 95% to 97% of how you respond to situation or what happens to your life has to do with your unconscious mind. 5% is influenced by your conscious mind, 97%, 95% by your unconscious mind. So let's build this girl. So as this girl is growing up, now she becomes of age. If it's this part of Africa, there are these women that surround you. And I remember very well as a girl child, I remember very well that during the time that I became of age, except my dad was so against a lot of these traditional things. But most of my girls, they went through Ichisungu and they withdrew them. Let me tell you, most of the teachings to a 12-year-old girl had to do with how to please a man. Most of the teachings to this 11-year-old girl was to learn how to twerk or how to wriggle her waist. Of course, there were teachings like how to look after yourself, how to wear pads, and. But most of the things, immediately from the age of 11, from the age of 12, the moment you just see your blood, an elderly woman will start telling you about this human being called a man and how that this man will sleep with you and the result will be pregnancy and whatever. So from the age of 12, your mind already starts getting this information about, whatever it is. So your having periods is associated to marriage. Your having periods at the age of 11, at the age of 12 is associated to you one day getting married. And those thoughts already begin to be put inside of you as a girl child. Now, for some people from that age, a lot of things get to happen. Some of them, they get raped. Some of them, a guy just lies to them. They don't even know what is going on with their body. They're not even enjoying sex, and someone breaks their virginity. By the age of 13, 14, their mind is just something else and they just get their virginity broken. Yes, Mtale. Oh, I'm looking good. Thank you. Let me even preach well because I'm looking good. 2 people have told me. So this is true. My face is glowing. Thank you. So now, because the alignment of a girl's body and whatever is going on to this girl, it has everything to do with sex. Okay, from the time she becomes of age, everything, where are you going? You get pregnant. Who were you with? Why have you come this time? Everything surrounds the sexual thing of a woman. Now, I'm going somewhere, so please follow me. When this girl now is growing up, okay, there are all these things that are surrounding this girl child. First, even when she comes back from school, she shouldn't first go straight to study. She has first to take care of the environment. She has to be in the kitchen. She has to be this. She has to do this. So eventually, those who were sharp, like I was, we still remained A+ students. But others, because they slept late, there was too much to do in the house, okay? They actually did not perform very well, and so couldn't go to university. So much happened, and. Okay, so let's leave that teenage urge. Now, before I leave it, let me emphasize something. Whether you were raped, whether somebody broke your virginity at the age of 13 or 14, whether you got pregnant at the age of 16, at the age of 17, whatever happened when you were a teenager, girl, I want you to know, it is time for you to address those things. It is time for you to deal with those things. Because if you do not deal with those things, they are the very things that begins to influence your career. You fail to further your career because you think your worth is attached to your past, or your worth is attached to who slept with you. Your worth is attached to who impregnated you. And so much starts happening. The environment starts cursing you. Stigma, so much starts influencing your life. Now, I'm coming because I'm talking about how marriage impacts a woman's career. But let's remove all these things that confuses a woman, because a woman starts being defined by, does she have a child? A woman starts being defined, do you have your virginity? A woman starts being defined by, all this sexuality. So in our teenage age, what covers our minds, they have to do with, ule isunga, why are you cooking like that? Your husband won't be happy. You are not, everything about this girl child in a teenage urge has to do with how a husband must be happy, whatever it is that she's doing. And so when you are growing up like that, without you knowing, unconsciously in your mind, 95% you are so influenced by the information that you have been receiving. And later on, this information begins to play a big role in your life. That starts affecting your purpose. That starts affecting your career. So I am addressing a lot of women because some of the situation that came into my inbox had to do, when I prayed through or when I looked at most of the questions, they had to do with a woman not appreciating who she is. For few that I got in touch with, they had a few things that lingered around from their teenage age. That is why some of them ended up marrying anything that was in their trousers. Any person that showed up, because there was some definition that was wrong that took place when they were just in their teenage urge. And so when they went to college or university and whatever, there was a lot that still started affecting their lives. And therefore, such things either led to wrong decisions when it came to who to settle with as, a spouse. Some of them, because of that, because of what happened, some of them have failed to settle with anybody, because when they look at a man, they are painting every man with the same brush. Now, they are 40. As I'm speaking to you, some of you are 40, some of you are 40-something, not yet married, not because you're not beautiful, not because you can't get married, but probably you have been influenced. The way you looked at every man that walked up into your life, you were not so prepared, so you began to repel every man as a result of certain mindsets and certain voices, certain things that was defined concerning who you are as a woman. And so because society also has got its own way of looking at a woman, you are stigmatized because you are a single woman. Now this stigma, let me tell you, this stigma is not just in the marketplace. If anything, this stigma is even more in the church. I'm coming. The stigma of not getting married is even more in the church. If you're a single woman and you're not married, every married woman, you become a suspect to every married woman. You know, especially if you're even past the age of maybe 25, going up 26, 27. You are no longer so much of a youth, if you know what I'm saying. So when there's youth meetings, okay, it's like you are a little older, so you cannot find yourself in the youth meetings. If there is marriage meetings, you also can't find yourself there because you are not married. So you find yourself hanging in some space without a department. And then you don't also want to belong to elderly singles. I don't know if there is anything like that in some churches. But anyway, here's the point I'm trying to drive at. You find that because of some things that you've grown up with, you actually get yourself labeled, and you even label yourself with a certain brush of who you are. And because of that, your marital status starts influencing what you are and who you are. It's like you are defined by situations. I'm coming. Let me check this. I don't want to miss anything. Oh, great. You're talking about my book. Awesome. Thank you so much, Mtale. Now, because you are defined by your marital status, everything about you you are so conscious of your marital status without you knowing that your consciousness about your marital status is actually affecting your career and your performance. So you went to church, you are not really defined properly. You go for work, you are also not properly defined. So you find that you put on this cape of marriage to be the most important thing that defines who you are, defines your career, defines your purpose. When in the beginning, it was not like that. The holistic approach of a woman, or how to manifest and how to bring out the skill of womanhood, it's not first bringing in the marriage aspect. The definition of womanhood, it is you as a woman first, to know who you are, to know yourself, such that even when you have suffered calamities or you made wrong decisions when you were growing up and you found yourself trapped into some space where you are failing to express yourself, it is still you to know. You need to give yourself permission to come out, because when you are born, even twins, when they are born, they still are separated. They still come one by one, except you are Siamese twins, which is an abnormality. So it is important for you to have an understanding that as a woman, your womanhood is not defined by your marital status. I need to address that. Your womanhood is not addressed by your marital status. Many people have found themselves in wrong relationships, in wrong marriages, having children outside wedlock because you think your worth is attached to your sexuality. You think as a woman your worth is attached for you having a ring. You think your worth is attached for you being called Mrs. when it is not supposed to be like that. So today I want to bring every woman in that space. If you are married, pardon me for a moment. I want you first and foremost to cut off the Mrs. title. I want you for a moment to cut off, the marriage title and how you feel married. I want you to find the girl. I want to find that girl in you. This is why I began talking about this from the time that we're young. I want to find Nellie. I need to find that Nellie. So go back to your childhood. What is it that has defined who you are and has influenced your decisions today based on your upbringing? We need to settle the scores. Your life is not defined by you being called Mrs. Some people even get angry when you call them by their first names. It's like you all the time you've got to add Mrs. to their name. Come on, you were not born with that name. When you were born, you were, even if you didn't have a name, when they announced you as a baby girl. A girl has been born, and your definition of your existence did not depend on your marital status. From the time you left your mother's womb, you were born alone. And it is very, very important for you to revisit that moment. When they checked you out, you started breathing for yourself. You fought your life. You cried out and announced yourself here on earth. Everybody was celebrating, and nobody thought your becoming had to do with you being called Mrs. Or your breath was dependent on some man who has to come and tell you I love you for you to breathe. No, you did not breathe because a man needed to tell you I love you. You started breathing without a man. So we need to settle those things. And so, for you to really recover and for you to really find yourself one more time, it is when you go back and begin to break certain walls, because some of you have trapped yourself in your man-made walls. You have covered yourself and you are blaming everybody and you are blaming every situation. The fact that you got pregnant when you were young does not mean your life is defined by you getting pregnant when you were young. If you got pregnant through a married man, people, listen to me. It is not labeled everywhere on your forehead. It is important for you to forgive yourself, settle the scores, dust yourself, and move on. Look yourself in the mirror. The definition of who you are as a woman has nothing to do with a man. The definition that you are as a woman has nothing to do with you putting on a ring or wearing that wedding dress. I need us to address these things, because most of us, we've so covered ourselves in marriage, we are even failing to be ideal wives. This same marriage we're looking forward to, has now crumbled your life. You have crumbled in your career because of this same thing called marriage. So, as you are unfolding and you are becoming, whatever career choices that you started making, I want you to know your career choice started when you were very, very young. I know school had so much impact in influencing what you are doing today. But from when you were a child, I remember in grade, I think it must have been grade 2. My dad told me something. Okay, I went home and I was crying because my friends were laughing at me that I was too tall and I was lying. That was not my age, whatever was going on. I went before Dad. I was crying. I said, oh, my friends were laughing at me. And my dad told me to say, Nellie, because I used to be, sometimes cry over I used to be too tall for a girl, if you know what I'm saying, and very slim. So I went to my friends, were laughing at me that I'm too tall. My dad told me, says, Nellie, you are a leader and leaders are tall. And when my dad said something, it became law. But let me tell you the moral of the story. I can remember very well, from the time I was young, I used to volunteer to speak on behalf of my friends. Even just starting grade 1, some of my friends were short, and we were taught to put our hands like this in order for you to start grade 1. So some of my friends, their hands couldn't reach because they were short. I made 5 of my friends to start school. 5 of my friends. All I did was take off the earrings, take off the top, wear another jersey, and I go announce myself. My name is Aretha. And Aretha Mioba starts school. I go again, change my clothes, wear something else. I go, my name is Brenda. Brenda starts school. So leadership started then. And I would always volunteer to speak on behalf of the school. Who wants to give a vote of thanks? I needed to put up my hand. Who wants to do this? I needed to put up my hand. When I was active in Scripture Union, I brought poems and other things and whatever. All this thing was embedded inside of me. Listen to me, woman. Your career was embedded inside of you. You were born with it. Who you are, what you are supposed to be, where you are supposed to be, and how you are supposed to go there. It is all inside of you. It's all inside of you. So it not happening has nothing to do with that man that you have for a husband. It not happening has nothing to do with the situations or the circumstances you found yourself in. Some of those circumstances are supposed to help you to actually bring out even more. Whatever it is, everything is inside of you. Oh, thank you, Brenda. That's a compliment. That's why I'm eloquent, because I used to always volunteer to speak every time. This is me. Words came very easy out of my mouth. Very easy for me to manufacture a poem. Very easy for me to stand and I have to say something and it's all there. Are you getting me? Very important. So now, it is important. I need every woman to understand this. When it comes to your career, you owe your life. Yes, everyone needs a friend. Oh yes, because those friends of mine, I'm always helping. And that's just me. I'm a destiny rescuer. That's my career. I'm a destiny rescuer. When I see trouble, especially when I see a woman in trouble, I started having this feeling from the age of 7. When I saw that woman walking into my father's office, when I saw that woman walking before mom, I just looked at her face. Something began to boil inside of me. And I wished I was older to help them. I wished I was older to make her stop crying. That is why I authored the book, The Make of a Real Woman. It is for that same reason. So now what am I saying? From when you were a child, even when you've made mistakes along the way, do you know that some of those mistakes are part of your gift? Let me interpret it. Some of those mistakes are part of your gift. It is only when you learn how to package that gift properly that you add skill, you add the expertise to that gift, that it becomes worth. You add worth to that gift. So say, for example, you got pregnant when you were 16 years old. Oh my God, that was a sad thing. 16 years, you got pregnant. Oh my God, you loved sex. No, girl, you didn't even know what was penetrating inside of you. You just found yourself pregnant. Now, do you know that if you got that same mistake and you started adding skill to it, you wrapping it up with skill, brand it nicely, and you call it a name. When you call it a name and you begin now speaking on behalf of a girl child who is in secondary school, who is in primary school, and you begin to snatch them and they start using your shoulder, they start coming to you for counsel, they start, come on now. When you begin now to use that same mistake, but you have painted that same mistake with a gift paint, and you begin to give yourself as a gift to people. Do you know there are some girls who cannot listen to what I say because I'm married as a virgin? But they will listen to you. They will listen to you. They will understand that you went through the same pain they are going through. They cannot understand me. If anything, when I'm talking to the youth, they laugh at me like I lost out on life. You'll be more relevant. You tell them the consequences. You tell them what you have gone through, and you have saved lives. Do you know how much money you can get paid through just you packaging that mistake properly? That's what I'm talking about. It is important for you to have an understanding. It is important for you to know that everything that you need to become is inside of you. You are not going to blame anybody. Never blame circumstances, because it is through those same circumstances that many people have actually become who they are today. Many people have packaged themselves very well. What you are failing to do, it is because of blame shifting. You are still blaming everybody except yourself. You are failing to forgive yourself. You are failing to arise from whatever painful situation, and you keep on blaming other people. Come on, girl. Go back. Go back and find that young girl. Go back, revisit. What did that elderly woman tell you when you became of age? What did she say? That today it's so embedded inside of you, and the conscience of it is actually affecting your career because your decisions of relationships have been wrong. And because the decisions of relationships have been wrong, you have been carrying emotional pain. You've been carrying broken heart. And as a result, you've been carrying all those things along with you. When you have gone in the marketplace, you are this broken woman. You are failing to climb the career ladder because you've got these emotions. You always come out wrong. When people ask you for something, you are coming out wrong. When a man starts to just greet you or say something, you think he's after you. You can't even read an ordinary greeting. You can't read anything because of some things that you had to go through. And you are interpreting everything with the situation. It is time to do some cleaning. It's time to do some cleaning. Before you actually say yes, before you actually swap your surname with another surname, before you actually give this hand for someone to band it and put you in prison on it, before you do that, if you've already done it, you know what is happening right now? I am doing some correction measure. I am bringing a hopeful message for healing. I am bringing restoration, and you have that opportunity. It is not time to cry foul. It is not time, because as I'm building up, I'm going to break down a number of things which have to do with marriage. How do you deal with a difficult man? How do you deal with a man who's possessive? How do you deal with a man who doesn't want you to progress? All those things I'll be addressing. But before I bring other people who are outside your environment or outside you, I want to address you. And that's my intention today. It is to address you, because we've got to fix this thing. When we fix this thing properly, it will be easy now for us to bring other people who have influenced us, other people who have great influence in our lives, because we have first begun by loving us. Doing that introspection, okay? When you do that introspection, you will know that now you can love again. Okay, now you can love again. Yes, Mutale, carrying pain and brokenness, you can't function in the marketplace. Very, very true. Yes, you can never function with so much pain. So now, looking at this girl, how many minutes do we have? 15 minutes. Looking at this girl, okay, who's now gravitating towards getting into a relationship. By the time you are making a decision to get into a relationship, there are a lot of things that you need to first deal with, okay? Number one, you need to address you first and foremost. By addressing you, what I mean is, where are you going? If you don't know where you are going, any person who shows up in a trousers can look like he can lead you there. Never underestimate this thing called marriage. If you're already married, you know what I'm talking about. If you are divorced, you know what I'm talking about. If you are not, please listen to me, and listen to me good. Because it is not the issue about his shoulders. It is not about how macho he is. It is not about his height. It has to do with you first as an individual. Why do you want to remove yourself from the equation? Because when you now take on this assignment, when you take on this other person, if you don't fix you, you will even break him down, because you haven't fixed you. So begin with you. So let me show you. So if you're about to get, somebody's proposing and all. When somebody walks up into your life, you need first to look inside yourself. What am I looking for? What is it that I am looking for in a man? So that is why when you begin to ask yourself those internal questions, do you know that his height won't matter? Do you know that his muscles won't matter? Because those are not the things that will address the internal you and the purpose that you carry. Because this whole thing has to do with what you carry. You are not going to marry a man just for you to help him. And I'm coming to explain, I think the other day on Monday, I'll talk about this thing called helper. You are not going to want to help somebody when you can't help yourself. So first and foremost, write down your qualities. Don't go around, I want a man like this, I want a man like this, I want a man like this. To come and marry what? So put down your qualities first. What are your qualities? What do you value most? What are your values? State down all those things. When you have those things, it is then easy for you to attract that person who aligns to those values. You don't go out looking for a man who will love me. You don't love yourself. You don't love yourself. You want a man who should love you. Are you fair? Are you being real? So first and foremost, address you. Address you. That is why deep calleth unto deep. You find the same type of men who are not serious. Or you have found one who's not serious as a husband because that's how you were not serious. Lack of seriousness. That is what you displayed. Deep calleth unto deep. And let me tell you something. From the time Adam said, God, it is this woman. Do you know God is not looking for people's wives? He's not looking for people's husbands. God doesn't go around and say, oh, when I was praying, and then God spoke and showed me you are the one. It's long time ago when such things used to happen. Now it is he who finds. Go find yourself. So that if you find somebody who has some foolishness, you have yourself to blame. No more. From the time Adam blamed God, God is not into this thing. God is not the one who is now, busy pairing you. No. You, it has to be this one. So I speak to you in the night. A sister who's going to wear a red top, she's the one. Don't lie on God. Don't lie on God. This thing work on you, because the very person that has to come in your life has to come and show up based on your depth. Someone was asking me, why do I attract wrong people? Well, there's something you need to deal with the inside of you. Do some cleaning. Clean up your life. Clean up your mind. These things are so unconscious, you won't even know. It is your unconscious, and it has so much energy. It is the energy inside of you that begins to draw a certain type of a person. So, do yourself. It is easy to work with you. It is easy to clean you, so that when another person comes into your life, is he in sync with what is inside of you? Do you know why you end up, many people say, oh, I've married the wrong person. Whatever the case, whatever the case, if it's wrong, let's work on it. Let's work on it, because if you don't work on you, even if you divorce, you will find another man. But because you did not work on you, you will still go and paint wrong things on him. You won't see the good of that person because you haven't worked in you. Let me tell you, when the Bible says, whatever things that are good, think about them. Do you know that if you do some cleaning, okay, let me give an example. Do you know why a baby can hold a snake without fear? Because inside the baby's mind, there is no folder that says a snake can bite you. Do you know that if you've never been taught that cancer, HIV is incurable, and all these things that doctors talk about, do you know that even when you have it, because you don't know, you don't have a folder that talks about how bad that disease is, do you know that you're not going to be in fear? So now, this is what I'm trying to say. Your mind, if in your mind you have entertained a bad man, that you experienced. Inside you, there is that folder of a bad experience. If you do not remove that folder, what will happen is that whatever it is, you precipitate. It's like your mind precipitates and begins to bring what you have inside of you, what you have in the folder, because there has to be some alignment. So the wrong things begin to attract the wrong person. And that is why when that person, this is what is going on, okay? When that person marries you, do you know why you see only what is wrong in that person? Because your mind inside of you are so many wrong things that's what you are familiar with. That is why a child, when a baby sees a snake, a baby doesn't see the venom. A baby doesn't get scared because inside her, there is nothing about a snake having venom. You get it? So when you learn to clean, when you learn to take time to take yourself, for you are Pentecostals, take yourself through personal deliverance. Clean yourself up. Do you know that it will be so difficult for you to see wrong things in people if you are so cleaned up? Because whatever things that are pure, when they show up, that's why the Bible says, when we in his presence, anything that is wrong becomes like a shadow in the light. The light of God makes things to become unreal. Come on. When you carry so much good, when you carry so much light, everything becomes a shadow. The reality is no longer there. Now, these things I'm telling you, I am building on, because by the time we settle in marriage, by the time you are going for work as a woman, you will reach the top of your career. You will reach the top of your career, because everything that you are supposed to be, everything that you are supposed to express here on earth is right inside you. You were born with it. All you need is skill. All you need is information. All you need is partnerships. People that you can hook up with to usher you into your greatness. You already have what it takes. Look at the girl called Esther. She was an orphan girl, circumstances around her life. But you know what? Her heart was so pure that when she was in that place and she was chosen, she found favor even with a person who was a beautician. She found favor. Why? Alignment. Everywhere you go, when you are properly aligned, you find favor. In the marketplace, you find favor. If you are going in the marketplace, a broken heart, I don't even know how you donate those hearts. How do you donate a heart to a person who doesn't know even how to take care of his own heart? So we have a lot of women who are managers with broken hearts. This is why any man you find, you think it is by him, sleeping, by you sleeping with him, that is when you have the worth. You define yourself by the reproductive system. You are beyond your reproductive system as a woman. But unfortunately, this is what has been put inside of us from the time we were young. From the time you are too conscious of being a woman. That is why in the presence of men, you're always thinking sex. I remember telling somebody, can you look, it was a team building. I said, can you look into each other's eyes? And women were shying away. I'm like, that's not your husband. Why are you thinking anything different from what I've asked you to do? Because any person who has a trousers, you think he's a potential person to sleep with you, because that's what we're told. That is why even in the marketplace, women are never taken seriously. In the marketplace, we are the way we value ourselves, we begin to make people value us in that way. We've got to clean up. We've got to settle the scores. We've got to cleanse ourselves. We've got to redefine ourselves. We have to, change the narrative of who a woman is. And it begins with you finding that girl in you. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to track back, okay? Go back into history. Trace back. Find this girl. Please help me to locate this girl. Find her as far as you can remember. I can remember from the age of 5. If you can go to the age of 4, please do. Go find this girl. Find her. Begin to address her. Begin to talk to her. When you find her, begin to promise her. Give her the promises that you will fulfill her dreams. You will fulfill what she was born to do. I need you to talk to this girl for me. Talk to her as far as you can remember. Begin to remove her from whatever it is that has, covered her. Whatever things that have, messed her life up. Begin to talk to her. Find her. When she became of age, talk to her. It's not a mistake that she had her periods. That she's not defined just by her periods. She's much more than the periods. So whatever myths that surrounded the time that she became of age, talk to her. Talk to that girl. She's not a mistake being born a woman. Her worth is greater than her bleeding. Her worth is so that she can dominate her space. Talk to her. The day she discovered she was pregnant, if it was outside wedlock, whatever happened, when she was molested, when she lost her virginity, talk to the girl for me. Please talk to her for me and begin to give her promises. She will make it. She will become. Go back. Look at that girl as she wore that wedding dress. She had so much hope entering into this unknown world. As she walked the aisle and she said, I do. Surrendered her whole. She didn't know what she was getting into. And she's gotten pregnant and she's been disappointed and she's been fighting unknown things and her worth has gone and she's lost her body structure and everything. Talk to her for me. Talk to her for me. I want you to know she can make it. I want you to speak to her for me. I want you to talk to her that her worth is not defined by her circumstances. If anything, her circumstances, her raw materials for her becoming, what she has gone through, are issues she needs to line up, are things she needs to package nicely, because whatever she has gone through are raw materials for her greatness. Talk to her for me. Talk to her for me. What has she been told? Who has said she'll never amount to anything? Who has misdefined her? Please talk to her and give her permission. Give this girl permission. Mention her name, Nellie. Give her permission. Give her permission to become one more time. And as I speak to you, I know something has broken. Something is happening as we all go back to our childhood to build our worth, to build who we are. I speak to each of you as we are going to become career women, as we are going to fulfill our dreams, because a dream is not dead. A dream can never die. As long as you have the breath, as long as you can touch your heart and you can breathe, as long as your eyes are open, as long as your mouth can talk, you can speak your life back. You can still see that dream. If only you can open your eyes and begin to see what you want to become, you have what it takes. I want to introduce you to foresight. I want to introduce you to insight. Through your hindsight, I would love you to push yourself into the future. Whatever happened, I want you to know everything need to package together as raw materials, need to be packaged together for your becoming. The Lord bless you. I'll see you again. Please invite other people. Invite other women. It is happening on the Make of a Real Woman page. Call them, let's gather as women. It's a Real Woman Summit running through from 16th to the 30th of May. As I'm concluding, I would love to invite you to a career enhancement program online. An amazing online program that has changed my life. Aretha, you are still on. Kindly write the link. I would want every woman who's watching me right now, please click on that link. Click on that link and enroll. The career enhancement program has got 5 modules. The first module has been offered for free. It is free. It has 4 units that changes your life. If you finish that module and your life hasn't been touched, your life hasn't been disrupted, then I don't know. Yesterday I said, then the devil bewitched you and is dead. We can't even find his grave. I need you to register. The module is free. The other 4 modules, other people on this, particular course, the batch 2, they are getting it for £65. I'm hoping it will still be the same, though the normal price is £100 for the other 4 modules. But please, for now, don't worry. Yes, Aretha has put that, link there. Please, right now, click on it before you go to bed. It's only 1 minute. Click on it. Yes, Winnie, thank you. Click on that link and be part of the move. We are causing a revolution. As women, we need our careers to shoot. We need to become what was intended for us to become. And what this course does, it interrogates you. It brings out the filth and begins to align you into your greatness. By the time you finish the module, you are done. By the time you are finished with the module, you are never the same. So please do that. And we are going to all have a great, great time. So see you tomorrow. Same time, 8 p.m. sharp. We start and we close 9 p.m. Wow, 9 p.m. sharp. We are closing. God bless you. May he keep you. May he make his face to shine over your life. Do me a favor. When you click there, register. When you finish registering, please don't sleep until you talk to that girl. I love you all. Bye-bye.